Coming into the season, everyone had the Chicago Bulls stuck in NBA purgatory. Too good to tank, but not good enough to matter. Then October happened. Now Chicago is winning, and it's intriguing. They're currently 7th in offensive rating and ranked very highly in defensive rating as well. This isn't accidental though. The Bulls stacked length, speed, and added pieces that fit together, then handed the keys to Billy Donovan to develop it. They built depth while keeping the books clean and put together a competitive group on the floor every night. Today we're asking one question: is this sustainable? And we'll break down the offensive structure that's driving a top-tier offense and the defensive rules that lift their floor, and whether this roster construction can scale in April or will it snap back to the mean. Chicago's offense is defined by what it isn't. There's no heliocentric engine and they don't live on the glass. The foundation is pace, spacing, and ball movement, which they're third in assist percentage. Their shot profile also matches the philosophy. Second in rim frequency, they generate the most efficient shot at a top 2 rate and almost no diet of low-value mid-range jumpers. Now that's coaching. Billy Donovan has stamped this identity after the early DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine exits last year, and just layer screening, early attacks, and second side movement. The result isn't just the volume at the rim, it's the quality. They're first in location effective field goal percentage, independent of shot making, mean that their shot selections should produce elite efficiency. On this first clip, we have Tre Jones setting up the offense, getting to Chicago's 2-guard alignment. Herter enters the ball to Vucevic, triggering the split action up top. But instead of outright switching, Franz expects a flare, leading him to chase Kevin over the top. Now when he switches onto Tre Jones late, he is now in recovery mode and is forced to switch to ball screen action. Tre Jones then gets 2 feet inside the paint, and the ball finds Vu for an easy basket. So right here, the Bulls set up their shallow action, and since the screen is flat, Westbrook doesn't necessarily know where the screen is. So Giddey sets Westbrook up with a crossover, and Westbrook expects Dennis to switch to drive, but Dennis is attached to Kevin Herter. And Zach LaVine is also hugged to Matas in the corner, opening up a rolling lane for Jalen Smith. Sabonis tries to make a last-second effort save at the rim, but it just opens up an easy dump-off and 2 points. A system needs an engine, and for the Bulls, that engine is Josh Giddey. The offense is around 5 points per 100 better than league average with him on the floor, but here's what makes this interesting. Giddey is not a traditional star. He's not a high-volume scorer, or some may even say a good scorer, and his shooting concerns are real, thus not as bad as it was to start the season. Yet he's the perfect conductor for this orchestra of play finishers because his value isn't in gravity, it's in paint touches. A simple play like this shows Giddey's value. Right here, he's bringing the ball up, gets an early drag screen. Once he triggers 2 feet in the paint, now switch is forced. He pulls it back out, swings the ball, and they find Vucevic for the easy high-low action and finish over a guard. Josh is in the 99th percentile for rim attempts amongst point guards. He constantly collapses the defense, which is a primary trigger for the entire Bulls system, whether it's via transition or a team putting a smaller guard on him and him just getting 2 feet in the paint via his strength and size. And he's an amazing rotation exploiter. Even if he doesn't have high-level scoring gravity, you can't afford to lapse against him, or on this team, you'll pay for it. This is why the Thunder trade made sense for Chicago. Getting a high-octane, high-IQ point guard with a collection of play finishers, Giddey doesn't just pass. He bends the defense to create the very shots the system is built upon. He's added proof that you don't need a heliocentric engine if you have the right engine for your system. So the formula is clear. Egalitarian offense for Chicago, rim pressure first and pass first orchestration that punishes rotation. It's a beautiful, efficient machine, but it relies on one fragile truth. The defense must hold the rope, and as we'll see, that's a high-stakes bet. We've established that the offense is efficiently designed. The defense moves in the opposite direction of the league though. As more teams become aggressive on that end, the Bulls rely on conservation. They are dead last in forcing turnovers, and it's a calculated mathematical trade-off. And this team bet against league trends. So far is working, but for how long? Their defensive scheme challenges modern basketball, and their rule is simple: run shooters off the line. This is why they're third in three-point frequency allowed, and the trade-off is that they're dead last in rim frequency allowed. They trust their rim protection right now, and they aim to avoid volatility in performances like outlier shooting performances, as we've seen teams like the Bucks back in the Budenholzer days be subjected to. However, this is still a risky approach, and this approach, as I said before, already has a cost. A defense that doesn't generate turnovers denies its own offense transition opportunities, the exact offense that you want with Giddey. And it also makes every defensive possession more important in the half court. And there's a concern that when Kobe White returns, what happens to this defense that's already hovering around top 10? Last year, Giddey, White, and Vucevic had a 120 defensive rating when on the floor together. To make things simple, this defense is a high-wire act. It's smart and it has worked so far, probably better than expected, but it lives on the edge. The margin for error is just so slim, and if the rim protection slips a bit or teams start to creep towards league average from three, the structure of this defense could collapse. This brings us to our final question. When you combine this high-wire defense with this team-oriented offense, what's the true ceiling for this team? Because we have two compelling yet interdependent philosophies happening here. An offense that refuses to take bad shots and a defense that concedes the most efficient shot on the floor. This experiment from the Bulls has built a smart, tough, cohesive team that is greater than the sum of its parts. That's why I see them as a lock for the play-in tournament, likely in landing as a 9th seed, maybe 10th at worst. I expect some defensive regression and some offensive regression as well, while still landing around the 8 to 13 range in that area. The floor of this team is high. I wouldn't be shocked if they landed as a 7th seed with a high-end range to 5th seed if multiple factors, even ones out of their control, fall their way. However, without a definitive star or superstar on this team and potential holes defensively, both schematically and roster-wise, advancing in the playoffs is unlikely. I wouldn't say this team is in basketball purgatory anymore, despite them maybe having a mediocre draft pick again. They're solid, but going from solid to good to great is a massive leap. And it's a leap this team can't make just yet, not without adding talent or seeing a significant internal development. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think of the Bulls' future and outlook this season.